What do you know about these memory stones? Farhad asked. Better I show you, Anahita said. With great trepidation, Farhad took his pickaxe to Mount Bistun once again.
Siema, z tej strony Adix Big Bad Dice. Gramy w Tale of Bistun, tak? Będzie to chyba ostatni odcinek z tej wspaniałej serii, bo gra wcale nie jest taka zła, jak sądziłem na początku. Myślałem, że to będzie jakaś taka wydmuszka, a okazała się całkiem przyjemnym tytułem. Idziemy z tym koksem. Zobaczmy, co mamy dalej. Ja już trochę czytałem, tak. Tak? No, będzie opowiadać wiersz. Dałem wniknąć do Fortecy Zapomnienia. Ale jak i czemu opuściłem ją samotnie? Odpowiedzi muszą znajdować się w tym piekielnym miejscu. Znowu wchodzimy do innego wymiaru.
The goddess spoke a word beyond Farhad's understanding.
Ciekawe, co to było za słowo. O.
Returning to the Revelations realm,
Nie mogę biegać.
lump to Farhad's throat. Dread shuddered down his spine. We shouldn't be here, he said.
Byliśmy tu wcześniej.
The Div, Bistun, it will... It cannot hurt us, Anahita interrupted. Trust me.
Nie mogę biegać. Wszystkie trzeba przejścia zrobić, żeby zdobyć achievement. O! To drzewo. A próbuje się dostać do nas.
Bistun pounded against the red mist, but could not force its way through. Anahita became animated. I have found the key to the memory stone, she said. She told Farhad that a single word was engraved on it, only visible in the Revelation realm's strange light. Oblivion. What does that mean? Farhad asked. It is the key to all seeds' heart, the goddess said. It is where our friend now rests. Anahita's voice was quiet and strained. Yes, this is the memory of my imprisonment. The engraving featured 3 people. On the right was Anahita in human form. On the left, Farhad's love, Sheeran. But who's the man in the middle?
Chyba ten król i to drzewo.
Anahita sighed.
No, dobrze mówię.
My greatest mistake. Farhad staggered as the earth growled and shuddered beneath his feet. The beast, caged for now, was banging on the bars with blows so mighty they crossed realms. We have Bistun's attention, Anahita said. You must confront it. I'm not ready, Farhad said. How can I defeat such a creature? Anahita spread a wing. Look around. Look at what you've created.
Dużo tego nie ma.
You've come. There is greater strength inside you than you care to acknowledge. Fear is inevitable, but you must not let it control you. If you do, then you have already lost. Follow me, Anahita continued. I owe you answers. He is my great mistake, Anahita said. I chose him, and I chose poorly. How does this help me defeat Bistun? Farhad asked. Anahita sighed. You still have much to learn, human. Patience, for one. Everything has a weakness, the goddess said. Humans, Div, even gods. But before Anahita could say what Bistun's weakness was, she told Farhad they first had to address his.
Teraz tędy będziemy iść. O.
Guardian Div, the usurpers of my... Anahita trailed off. Wait. Someone is nearby.
O.
Farhad blinked. His jaw dropped. He couldn't believe who stood before him. She was more graceful than a swan, more beautiful than a moonlit lake. Farhad knew he should have felt only relief at seeing Shirin safe. But to his great shame, his happiness was tinged with chagrin. He had dreamed of saving her from imprisonment, yet here she stood. How did you escape? Farhad eventually said, his voice trembling. Escape, Shirin said, with furrowed brow. Why would I need to escape my castle? I have been there since you built the milk canal. But, you whispered to me, Farhad began. You are not well, Farhad, Shirin said. I have come to plead with you to stop this madness. But Shirin, my love, I do all this for you. Shirin cast down her eyes. I am sorry if I have misled, but you must know, I do not love you.
To chyba ona dostała te berło władzy, czy jak to nazwać.
The bottom dropped out of Farhad's world, but he had no time to brood.
O, wciągnęło nas.
Hurry, Anahita.
Teraz będzie boss chyba.
She is in grave danger. Forget her harsh words. Prove that you are worthy of her affection. And though Farhad was frightened, his mind racing, he knew what had to be done.
Podczas walki z bossami, jak na fakt, że w tej grze jest jeden boss. trafimy jakimś cudem. Teraz dopiero będą chcę niszczyć.
Laughter mingled with excitement. The bell, Farhad! Ring the bell! The bell would not peal. Small eyes brimming with sorrow. Anahita caught Farhad's despairing stare. Save her, the goddess said. Do not make a mistake as grave as mine. Anahita fought hard, but could not withstand the Diev's might. Farhad wept, for he had lost another friend to Bistun. Despite Shirin's cruel rebuff, Farhad longed to help her, but he could make no sense of her injuries. He gripped Allseed's amethystine heart as the drowning man clutches the rope. I failed you, he whispered to the stars. Please, show me what to do. And then, a memory floated to the surface. A single word. Oblivion. Don't give up, Farhad pleaded. Stay with me. Farhad cradled her in his arms, as if she were made of porcelain, and he saw something wonderful, the slight rise and fall of her chest.
A idziemy dalej.
I will take you home, princess, Farhad whispered. The rain ran down his craggy face in rivulets, masking his tears. Perhaps you do not love me, he said, sobbing. But I fought a mountain for you, and I put trusting friends in harm's way. And selfish as it may be, I would do it all again. As Farhad walked, Shirin started murmuring. Farhad leaned close. She whispered but a single word. Khosrow. Suddenly, it all made sense to Farhad. The stone carving. The two were the perfect couple. The king of Persia and the princess of Armenia. How could a lowly sculpture question such a union?
Oza.
Suddenly, Farhad ground his teeth as a great fury
I rzucił do wody.
not at Shirin or even Khosrow, but at himself. What was I thinking? How could a princess love someone like me? But it doesn't do to wallow in self-loathing, and other questions wormed their way through Farhad's anger. If not Shirin, then who does the whisper belong to? How could he defeat Bistun and enter the fortress of oblivion? Why even try now? Farhad was ashamed by his selfish musings. What happened to Anahita? He thought. Does she need my help? Lost in his wretched thoughts, Farhad nearly failed to notice something alarming. Shirin's dainty feet were turning gray. I can't feel my legs, Shirin mumbled. Shh, be at peace, Farhad reassured her. You will be all right, as Anahita was. Shirin furrowed her brow. Anahita? Farhad swallowed and drew in a deep breath. She is your guardian. She risked everything to help me. He trailed off with a hoarse croak.
Chyba nie do końca tak. Tu tak będziemy iść?
I should check the rift is still sealed, Farhad thought, recalling the memory stone. What does the statue hold? Farhad wondered. Greet,
Yes.
Farhad. My sources tell me you are a man of your word. Perhaps I should be impressed. But reports of your engravings give me cause to question your sanity. I had thought that when Princess Shirin herself revealed that she does not return your love, you would cease your efforts. If you must persist, so be it. I will not stand in your way. Just remember that I require complete, unhindered... Something about Khosrow's tone set Farhad on edge. When the riders came, he decided to be absent. My lady, Farhad began, forgive me. I could sit here by your side for 100 years, and the gentle rise and fall of your chest alone would sustain me. Farhad swallowed a sob. But I cannot stay.
Co za simp.
Anahita, the one I mentioned. I must find her, but do not be afraid. The king's men approach like thunder. You will be safe with them. Safer than you ever will be with me. And with that, he gently kissed his love on the forehead and resigned himself to never seeing her again.
A, to nie tu. Bo góra powinna się wyświetlić, czy jakiś poziom mamy teraz do przejścia. Chyba. To jest.
Princess Shirin traveled here alone, Farhad tried to reassure himself. Harm will not befall her. The choice was a difficult one, but Farhad could not abandon his friend. After all, both he and Shirin owed Anahita their lives, and while a broken heart may ache for years, death happens but once. Perhaps Anahita's last temple would suggest her whereabouts.
Nic tu nie ma. To już bez znaczków będzie? Czas na bitkę.
Khosrow's letter was condescending, haughty, oppressive. Shirin would no doubt be safe with the king, but at what cost?
Także co chwilę będą to posągi do zmiany broni, ale... O, mamy. Myślałem, że znalazłem lekarstwo, ale myliłem się. Ostatniej nocy jadłem owoce granatu z filaru świata. Wciąż było mi mało, niektóre były kwaśne, inne były słodkie. Lecz im więcej jadłem, tym większy odgarniał mnie głód. Nagle mój ból zminął. Tutaj na fałszywy świt. Moja stara rana zaczęła lśnić. Jaśniej i jaśniej. Światło lało się z mojej piersi, a ból zmagał się i zmagał. Chciałem wyciąć ametyst. Agonia sprawiła, że straciłem przytomność, lecz światła nadal tańczyły przed moimi oczami. Dotrzedłem od siebie, pień drzewa granatu naznaczony był świetlistymi pasmami. Następnie zaś i obiecuję, iż mówię wyłącznie prawdę, drzewo poruszyło się.
Farhad's fingers brushed Allseed's heart. So that is how you can...
Kolejna bitka.
failed to ring the giant bell in the battle against Bistun. If I had been able, he thought, perhaps Anahita would still be here.
Stronę. W sensie chyba tam, ale zobaczymy, czy coś tutaj jeszcze jest. No właśnie.
A memory stirred as Farhad stared at the smooth grey stone of Shirin's statue. Her foot, her skin was turning to stone. Of course, Khosrow's letter had alluded to something else. An agreement between Farhad and the king. Why does he want passage through Mount Bistun? Farhad wondered. And what wish
Będziemy chodzić po tych krawędziach głupich.
could it be? Shirin? The thought angered Farhad. The princess was not a prize to be awarded.
Zim.
Farhad feared the worst.
Nie ma licznika.
Mighty and terrifying. And if Anahita had overcome it, why hadn't she returned?
Nie był chyba licznik znajdźków. O, tam dalej będzie coś, trzeba będzie się wrócić. Walka jest taka pasjonująca. No to trzeba czekać, aż te pnącza
I could
znikną.
return for this,
Wrócić.
Farhad thought.
Nie. To idziemy, no.
Khosrow was not the solution to Farhad's problems. Bistun caused the blight, and no deed would bow to a king, no matter how powerful. She will be back in her castle now, Farhad tried to convince himself. All this will be behind.
Boss? O, jest duży. Już koniec? Wow. Zniknęła cała zaraza tego świata.
Farhad realized that now that the stairs were clear, the path was back open.
Mówiąc, że przedstawiło się jako wszechnasiona, posługiwało się osobliwym językiem, mieszanką polskiego i jakiejś przydatnej mowy, której nie potrafiłem pojąć. Wiele miesięcy spędziłem w cieniu jego gąsi i opowiedziałem mu o sobie i o ludzkości. Szczególnie zainteresowały jej kamienie talizmanów, które na każdym kroku zdają się zatruwać naturę. W zamian wszechnasiona opowiedziała mi o ukrytych królestwach, jaśniło jej szpilar świata, łączy wszystkie królestwa, a na całości przyglądają się góry.
Every realm? Farhad thought. If there are more, are there other Div?
Smutkiem rozstałem się z wszechnasionem, na pożegnanie darowało mi kilka owoców granatu. Spożywałem je z większym umiarem, wspaniale uśmierzały ból, moja rana nadal niekiedy lśni, lecz przynajmniej nie tracę już dużej przytomności. Brzmi jednak powtarzający sen. Budzę się, może z obliwiem migoczących gwiazd, to jest na lotnej wyspie. Cóż może to oznaczać?
So I'm not the only one to have entered the Revelations realm, Farhad thought with gladness.
Jesteś głupi. Licznik. Chyba. Próbuj, nie wiem już sam.
Hope and fear battled within Farhad, but resolve overcame both. This time, he knew what had to be done.
Ostatnia Świątynia.
Visit a strange place often enough, and it soon loses its mystique. But this was the memory stored within all Seed's heart. A story Farhad needed to know. What is this for? Farhad wondered.
Nie mogę teraz biegać, bez sensu.
The talisman stone shattered.
A, jakieś kowadło.
Hot and angry, Farhad scoured his memories for all Seed's last words. To kill a mountain, build something new. The mountain was clear, but build what?
Nową broń.
Why would all Seeds have a memory of a smithy? Farhad thought. After all, fire and trees do not usually well mix.
Jakaś forma. Ło!
The sledgehammer was huge and heavy, but Farhad carried it with ease.
Teraz z nim będziemy bić znowu. A nie możemy biegać.
As he rounded the corner in the floating path, a gasp escaped Farhad's lips. Shattered remnants of his friend hung suspended in the air, unmoving, cold, lifeless.
Nieśmiertelny, tak, podczas walki.
For whom the bell tolls, Dave, Farhad shouted into the darkness. It tolls for thee!
Będziemy czekać, tak? Aż skończy wszystkie ataki. Może trzeba tutaj go sprowokować do ataku.
Mighty peal rent the air, sending Bistun crashing to the floor.
Będziemy bić go w oko.
This is for my friends, Farhad cried.
W ogóle on na brodzie ma jakieś rysunki. Tego dobrze. Ale jest długi długi okres klatek nieśmiertelności. Widzieliście? W ogóle jeszcze tak? O, teraz. Nie wiem, mi tyle obrażeń zadał. Ta fala uderzeniowa teraz zadała mi obrażeń, czy jak? Może ta fala, ja się śmiałem, że klatek nie ma. Kurczę u mnie. Ja czy będzie sobie czekać tak długo, aż aż podejdę sobie do niego.
And for my love!
Nie, nie miał guszy. I raczej nie. Już kończymy? Kurde, ale mi dużo branży zadał. Jeżeli chodzi o prostą walkę. I co, od nowa całość? O, to słabiutko strasznie.
Not ask for whom the bell tolls, Steve.
Trzeba zginąłem tej grze.
Shouted into the darkness. It tolls for thee.
O, to panie.
The bell's mighty peal rent the air, sending Bistun crashing to the floor. This is for my friends, Farhad cried.
No, dostałem teraz obrażenia. Mogę jakoś... Może muszę uderzyć w to. A przecież podczas walki młotem nie zadaje żadnych nie dostaje żadnych obrażeń, to chyba muszę uderzać po prostu. Teraz spróbujemy. Ja też dostałem obrażenia, nie wiem jak to działa. Skakać nie mogę. pierdolę podchodzić do niej. Że oni tak szybko mnie zabijają. Dobra, mamy to. No, kurwa, zero czasu na reakcję. Pierdolę, nie będę zbliżać się. Zabiję ich ultem. Uleczyć nie mogę teraz. Dobra, poczekamy. Co jest? Uderzyłem przez dzwon. Teraz dopiero. Mamy go. Rzeźbiarza.
Last mighty blow, the Deve's crimson eye winked. The storm within Farhad's heart rivaled the one that rent the dark skies. Bistun was defeated, but at such cost. He felt more alone than he had ever felt before. For the first time since he awoke on Mount Bistun, his path was clear, but he had no one to share the news with. Princess Shirin would be resting in Khosrow's quarters. Farhad, what have you done? What vile sickness did you expose my love to? You had no reason to dig through the mountain.
No sobie w głowę uderzę teraz? To jak?
Guilt consumed Farhad. He felt that this world could no longer offer him anything. But death had not ended Farhad's journey before, and it was not about to now. Instead, Farhad drew ever closer to answers. The final steps on the path laid out before him. The path that ended in the realm of forgotten memories. the fortress of oblivion awaited him. And Farhad thought of all those who had played their part in getting him here.
Znowu bez możliwości biegania.
All seeds, with his wisdom and kind heart. Majestic Anahita, so dedicated to atoning for her greatest mistake. The beautiful princess, always out of reach. And the king, who had treated him with such disdain. But none of them mattered anymore. The whisper called to him. I called to him.
Ładnie tu.
Foreboding chilled Farhad as he walked amongst the horrors. Exiled and forgotten people, ensnared by the blight, trapped in endless suffering, their silent screams frozen in their gullets.
Chodzi. O! Ptaszek. Nie mogę z tym zrobić, nie wiem czemu.
Months, years, decades. For how long I had called him to me, I cannot say. My voice gave out, but still, I cried out across the realms. Unimaginable agonies racked my body. Yet I never sought refuge in insanity. The wound that never heals reminded me of my mortality and my purpose.
ten król cały?
Hod's eyes and saw his
Ach, to ten król chyba.
confusion. But even then, I saw a flicker of something else. Was it relief? Words eluded him, however. So I explained everything. I told him my name is Nizami. I was a blacksmith by day and a storyteller by night. I was banished by King Khosrow, exiled unjustly. On Mount Bistun, I was mortally wounded, but saved by the most wondrous fruit and
Jego notatki znajdowaliśmy.
walking tree. Then I discovered an otherworldly domain, a realm of forgotten souls. But the Div found me. I was imprisoned in the fortress of oblivion, doomed to be forgotten. Teetering on the edge of oblivion, agony poured from my wound and took form. You, Farhad, are created out of my pain, out of my wound. I told him, you are the manifestation of hope, the embodiment of purpose. I had lost count of the number of times Farhad had reached my prison, but each time he had refused my plea, refused to set me free. I knew the choice was grim, but I had to prevail. My story is not yet complete, and so I gave him a choice. Liberate me, or abandon me once more. The path to the left was where he should engrave the wise decision to set me free. Or he could add to the cruel records of abandonment to the right.
Uwolnimy go.
You lie, Farhad said, his hands trembling. But I knew he did not believe his own words. It is just human nature to question that which explains all. Farhad seized his head and yelled, "Tell me the truth!" "Calm yourself, Farhad," I said in a soothing tone. "Do not let anger confuse your thoughts. We are one," I repeated. "I feel every pain that you do. But the difference," I told him, "is that my pain never dwindles. The moments of serenity as dusk falls, the sense of triumph when a fearsome foe has been vanquished. You experience these things and more," I said. "I have only pain. And when you faltered, and my agony was too much to bear, you were reborn from my wound. With my words." Farhad recalled his visions of leaving the fortress alone. "Look at me, Farhad," I implored. "You do not realize how special you are. You are a part of me, but more than I could ever be." I knew his uncertainty, but I explained that, unlike me, he has a choice: to free me or make the mistake of abandoning me again, to embrace the rare gift that I have offered, meaningful purpose, or shun it.
Nic więcej. Uwolnimy go. Jak wszyscy odrzucali, to ja uwolnię. Jeszcze tam jakaś lampa jest. Jest. Dalej nie mogę biegać.
This time, I resorted to honesty to convince Farhad to release me. If he rescued this poor old man, his creator, from a life of torture, I promised to continue my journey. I would seek out the source of the blight afflicting nature, the reason behind the chaos that sweeps through Persia, and destroy it. But sadly, there was a catch. To leave my unnatural shackles empty,
Znowu boss?
draw unwanted attention, Farhad would have to take my place. At this, the sculptor growled and turned his head. Wait, I implored. You do not understand. I told him how this sacrifice would give his life meaning. After all, it was his purpose. It was what he was created for. The only way he could escape the cycle. And I promised that when my quest was complete, I would come back to return the favor. You have made the right decision, I told him. Before I left, Farhad asked me if his sacrifice would be worth it. There is no greater blessing than having purpose, I told him. No worse pain than having it denied. I promised I would not rest until I had stopped the sickness afflicting nature. I would rescue other poor, imprisoned souls and face the threats before me with the courage that Farhad had shown. Namavad, I called. Let your fires light my way.
Koniec.
بیاورد ضحاک را چون نبند، به کوه دماوند کردش ببند. به کوه اندرون تنگ جایش گزید، نگه کرد قاریبانش ناپدید. بیاورد
Na drugą część.
گران به جایی که مغزش نبودن در آن. فرو بست دستش بر آن کوه باز، بدان تا بماند به سختی دراز. ببستش بر آن گونه آویخته، از او خون دل بر زمین ریخته. از او نام ضحاک چون خاک شد، جهان از بر او همه پاک شد.
Koniec. Jeżeli oglądaliście, nam życzę wam się podobało i co? Słyszymy się w następnej grze. Do następnego. Cześć. A czy zobaczę, czy jakieś napisy są, czy coś? Mogę to pominąć? Nie mogę. No i przypuśćmy, że nie ma. Dobra, do następnego.